Olanna was working briskly down the muddy path, carrying a basket of yam, while her younger sister, Kemi, struggled behind with a heavy load on her head. Olanna thought to herself, if Kemi has the energy to entertain suitors, she should have the strength to carry more than one basket. Olanna wasn't pleased because it was Sunday, a day she hoped to relax and challenge her neighbors to a game of ayo. But the market had opened due to abundant harvest, and her mother sent her to sell yams. As they walked, Olanna spotted something in the trees. It was a white bird, an egret. Her mother always said that egrets brought blessings. She felt hopeful for a moment, but her thoughts quickly shifted as a strange boy appeared before her, catching her by surprise. The boy's brown eyes locked with hers. He seemed out of place, with his head too large for his slim body. Without any greetings, he said, "I am looking for Kemi." Olanna folded her arms. "Why do you want her?" she asked, annoyed by the boy's lack of respect. He smiled and replied, "The prince of Orinikon has chosen her. She will be his bride." Olanna felt a surge of anger. Her beautiful sister, always praised for her flawless skin, had caught the attention of a prince. She thought about how Kemi's beauty always overshadowed her own, and in that moment she became jealous and came up with a plan. "I am Kemi," she lied. "Tell the prince I accept his proposal." The boy left without hesitation, and Olanna smiled to herself. If Kemi could marry a traveling merchant, Olanna would marry the prince. Convincing Kemi to flee with the merchant was easy. After all, Kemi had always dreamed of a simple life filled with love. Olanna was interested in something more: power, wealth, and status. On the day of the wedding, Olanna's face was veiled, hidden behind a thick cloth. As was tradition, the prince arrived in grand fashion with drummers, dancers, and lavish gifts. The entire village gathered, eager to witness the union between their prince and the supposed Kemi. After the ceremony, Olanna and the prince set off for his village. The prince insisted they travel by dusk, an odd request, but Olanna said nothing. After an hour, their carriage stopped at the edge of a dark forest, its towering trees casting eerie shadows in the fading lights. "Why are we stopping?" Olanna asked. "We must continue on foot," the prince replied. "The spirits of this forest do not allow carriages." Olanna, slightly unsettled, nodded and followed. The silence of the forest weighed heavy on her, and the only sound were the rustling of leaves and their footsteps. As they walked deeper into the woods, the prince stopped suddenly. Olanna grew nervous. "Why did we stop?" she asked. The prince's voice was calm. "The drummers and dancers need to return home. They are spirits of this forest." To Olanna's horror, the drummers and dancers began transforming. They shifted into frogs, owls, crickets, and other creatures. She was frozen in fear. Her heart raced as she realized she had married into a world of spirits. The prince calmly continued to collect the lanterns and beads, unfazed by the transformation. He assured her that these spirits were their friends. Olanna's fear deepened. She wondered if she had made the worst mistake of her life. As they continued their journey, the prince began giving away parts of his body to strange creatures in the forests. His legs, his arms, his torso all disappeared until only his head remained, floating in the air beside Olanna. By now, terror had completely overtaken her. She wanted to run, but her legs were frozen in place, held by the soil beneath her feet. She cried out, "Please, I am not really Kemi. Let me go." The prince's voice, now just the head, was calm but firm. "It does not matter anymore. You are my wife now, and you must come with me." The soil gripped Olanna's feet tighter and carried her forward, no matter how hard she struggled. The prince led her to his village, a place unlike anything she had ever imagined. It was filled with floating heads, their eyes watching her every move. They couldn't speak, only hum, and they placed her in a deep, dark pit. Days passed with only the faintest light from fireflies, as two bullfrogs visited her, mocking her situation. Desperate Olanna begged the ground itself to release her. The spirit of the earth finally spoke, frustrated with her cries. It demanded one thing in return for her freedom: "Make sure humans stop disturbing my rest with their noisy cleaning at night." Olanna agreed without thinking. She just wanted to escape. The ground released her, pushing her up from the pit, but its final words echoed in her ears: "If you fail, you will return here and your descendants will share your fate." Olanna fled back to her village, her heart pounding, knowing she had narrowly escaped a terrible fate. But she could never truly escape her lies. She had deceived not only her family and the prince, but herself as well. The lesson here is clear. Lies and greed can trap us in many ways we cannot foresee. Olanna's envy drove her to deception, and though she was released, her actions bound her and her descendants to a terrible fate. Just as Olanna learned too late, the consequences of dishonesty can last a lifetime, sometimes even longer. So, remember, in life, the truth may be difficult, but it is far better than living with the weight of lies. What seems like an easy way out may lead you down a path of no return.